Good morning, Tim Sykes here, filming this at 7 a.m. West Coast time. I am West Coast, that's why I sound like crap in these video lessons, because I'm just not a morning person. But I woke up early, made a few trades. I think there are some lessons here. Um, I think probably what I want you to leave a comment underneath this video is saying, just say, I'll be ready. 3 words, because I wasn't looking to trade. I wake up early. I'm filming some pretty cool stuff with my newest millionaire student here, Roland, and Superman. He's also in Arizona, so you'll see what we're filming soon. But I wasn't looking to trade today. I just am ready to trade if called upon. I say that like trading is like a battlefield, and we're all soldiers. I don't want to fight, but I will. And if there's a pattern that I see, then, I'll come out of retirement because I think of myself as a retired trader too. All of these weird, you know, rules really help me to trade better because it keeps me patient. Sorry, I just paused this video, just pulled up LAC. This one is breaking out. I don't like chasing on a third green day, but this is a battery maker and there are Tesla rumors. What I was going to talk about, and literally that's just like breaking news. You all should be using Stocks to Trade breaking news every morning. It just made me bank this morning because I am prepared. But that's the thing. Like, I want you to be prepared for any potential plays. You shouldn't be looking to trade necessarily. I don't know how West Coasters do it. I get it, if you're a morning person, but if you're not like me, it's tough. HNCKF was a trade that I just did, made a few $100s. My better trade today is DPWW, and I'm sorry I'm a little out of it. You can tell, like I'm like jumping from subject to subject. I'm not in the right frame of mind to do a video lesson, but I want you to see this, right? Like I want you to see that I'm not great at waking up in the morning on the West Coast. I want you to see that, not everything is connecting, even though I just had like 2 coffees. I'm not going to be trading aggressively because I recognize that my own, mental levels just aren't high right now. Because I'm not trying to complain. I want you to understand that, we're all human. And if you're not in an ideal place mentally, physically, time zone wise, Wi-Fi wise, like that impacts your trading. It blows my mind that more people don't talk about it. But I still made 2 trades. Let me talk about them. DPWW, this was my first trade today, first green day, up 50% on the day. I already sold it because it hit my goals. It had a fantastic morning spike. This is a 70% spike from the open. I didn't catch it right at the bottom or the top, but I took the meat of the move and I made roughly 3 grand. This was alerted by Stocks to Trade breaking news. So this is what I'm saying. Like, if we are soldiers on a battlefield, you need the best weapons. I might not be all there mentally right now. I probably need another coffee after I finish this video lesson. But Stocks to Trade breaking news is a weapon that I have, and it allows me to, frankly, decimate the competition. They put out an SEC filing, which I linked. They're acquiring a big weed company. So it's big news for a stock trading at a penny. It was very, I don't know, I guess you could call it easy. I don't want to say that trading is easy, but it seemed to be an easy setup to me, even in my impaired mental state, that it could really run. And you never know how much it's going to run. Like I literally had no idea, how high it was going to go. I bought it at 0.011. I said, goal is to make 20 to 40%. And I ended up making actually a little bit more than that, 45%. And just to put this in perspective for a lot of newbies, people who say, Tim, you're a millionaire. Like, why are you taking such small gains? 45% is a fantastic gain over the course of a year for a mutual fund. Over the course of 2 years, if you make 45% on your money. This is why I want you to take advantage of small account sizes. A big account couldn't do this, but you could buy a few 100,000 shares. You could probably even buy a few million shares. I'm filming this at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it's already traded 30 million shares plus. So it is pretty liquid, and there is some dip buying too, but I'm not going to force it. Like I said, I'm not going to overtrade. I'm not in the best mindset. You can hear it in my voice. That's why I wanted to film this video early, just so that you understand what's going on. I don't want to film this when I'm like, more wide awake in a few hours and then I review how shitty I felt in the morning. I want to, get you understanding that, when you're human, sometimes you're not going to feel great, especially waking up if you're not a morning person. Now it's up 60%. So it's bouncing. I didn't know how high it's going to spike, but when you have an OTC potential runner with news, or in this case, it was an SEC filing, you want to just try to get in near the market open. Sometimes, you see I buy it near the market open and it's just a dud. Yesterday was an example. IPIX had news, former OTC runner. It had a little spike, but pretty much nothing. And it was just a dud. DPWW seems the opposite. It was a huge spike, big dip all the way back down to the 0.011s if you miss the initial spike, and now it's a 30% bouncer too. So there's actually two opportunities, and such huge volume. I mean, now 32 million shares traded in 30 minutes. So by the end of the day, it'll be over 100, maybe even 200 million traded, biggest percent gainer, most liquid stock that I'm watching. So it was there. Stocks to trade breaking news alerted it. Let me pull up a screenshot. Hold on. This is the stocks to trade breaking news that came out literally, just 3 minutes before the market opened. DPWW 8K. 8K is an SEC filing. If you watch my DVD, Learn to Read SEC Filings, about some weed deal with Cookies LLC, which is of decent size. Looks like they have it in a press release in that 8K too. Haven't seen it hit any wires yet. So that creates a little bit of an informational opportunity where it hasn't hit the news wires yet. But this is why stocks to trade breaking news is so great, because they're not just looking at news wires, they're also looking at SEC filings. And as of right now, I still don't know if it hit the news wires yet. But it says, look, in the SEC filing. Let me actually pull up the SEC filing. Hold on. Here is the SEC filing, and it's a long one. I mean, I don't know how many pages it is. 47 pages. And I'll link it underneath this video so that you can read this. And I'll also link stocks to trade breaking news, because you really should use it even if you're half awake. I mean, it alerts you to the best news, as you can see here. But this is just a whole SEC filing about them acquiring Cookies LLC, which is, I guess, a big weed company. I'm scrolling through. There's just a lot of stuff. Oh, so this is what, I literally didn't even click this. I probably should have, but this is why I trust stocks to trade breaking news. This is the press release. They put the press release in the SEC filing. So this press release is going to come out. I really don't think it's even out yet. So it's actually pretty amazing, this opportunity for small accounts. And this is what I'm always saying. I know that the world hates on penny stocks. They hate on, just small accounts. Like, Wall Street looks down on small accounts. They look down on like me making $3,000. But the press release is already out in the SEC filing. If you know where to look, the press release is not out on news wires. So when it hits the news wires, a lot of lazy traders, a lot of lazy investors are going to say, oh, new news. They don't understand that it is already in the SEC filing. Hold on, let me just go to big charts. I'll show you big charts. This is what a lot of traders use. So this is DPWW on bigcharts.com. You have the chart, and underneath on Big Charts, it's a free website where you can see press releases. And you can see all the recent press releases: July, May, March, February. No new press release from September. The SEC filing is out. The press release is not out. We can already see the press release in the SEC filing, so we know that the press release is coming, and now it's just a waiting game. So it becomes this kind of upcoming news catalyst play, and that's why, it's up 40, 50%, but that just creates an opportunity where if you have stocks to trade breaking news, you know that a PR is coming out. You know that there's going to be future buyers. This is what I want so many people to understand with penny stocks and really the stock market in general. It's not just about how a company has done. You know, a company might announce record profits in the past and the stock is down. And a lot of newbies message me like, what's going on? I'll give you an example. RKT, right? They announced record earnings. If you look at them, you know, amazing, right here at 33, 34. But the stock was already up from 18 to 34. And when they announced record profits, all it did was drop. And the promoters, you know, tried to save it. I said, you know, if you were long, I mean, I didn't even trade this stock, but a lot of people were long. And they said, what would you do? I said, if I was long, I would cut losses. You know, it's an earnings loser. I accept it. But a lot of people don't accept it, right? They try to fight it and they say, it's not an earnings loser. Look at how good the fundamentals are. Sykes, you're such a penny flipper. And they're trying to make it personal. And I'm like, oh, call me names, hurt me, hurt me. For me, the point is when a stock does not react well to news, perhaps it might already be priced in. Welcome to how the stock market opens. That's what this is all about. So RKT, if I had been long, I simply would have cut losses. I would have lost $1 or $2. But the promoter said, no, only hold if you're serious investor, sell if you're weak, you know, only losers sell. And I'm like, that's like the worst advice ever. Like promoters should be executed. Seriously. Like they are causing so much harm, or not executed, but, you know, at least taken off social media because they're whatever they say is just irresponsible. And to this day, I'm still getting, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DMs in messages a day from people stuck down 30, 40% on this because the promoters suck them in. And the good fundamentals make you think that this is a good company. Maybe it is a good company. All I care about is the reaction to news. It's probably priced in. DPWW, again, no press release yet, but the SEC filing is out. If you read the long 47-page SEC filing, you know that the news is going to come out. So when the news hits, I don't know if the stock is going to spike. It might, you know, it's trading at a penny, so there's not much downside. But at the same time, if you're meticulous, then you know that there can be timing inefficiencies between news. So I think that this thing could still respike, but I have a busy day and, you know, again, I want some more coffee, but the press release is not out yet. So that creates an opportunity. You buy when, you know, you realize that there's going to be upcoming news, another catalyst. Not only is the SEC filing a catalyst, there will be upcoming news in the form of an actual press release. 99% of traders don't even realize that there's an SEC filing. 99% of traders don't realize that if you use stocks to trade breaking news, you could be alerted ahead of time. It's not insider information. It's not illegal. SEC filings are available for anybody. Most traders just don't know where to look. And this is, again, the problem with trading in this battlefield. Most traders are unprepared for battle, so they get decimated. And you have the opportunity to not get decimated if you use the right tools. I'm also going to link this tweet right here. I said, remember to be patient and let the best trading setups come to you. You do not have to trade every minute, hour, or even every day or week. Patience is difficult, so that's why most traders don't practice it. It's also why most traders lose on non-ideal setups that lead to frustration. I'm trading this stock, right? Like this is up 50%. I was also trading HNCKF, which, you know, today it's down 16%, but it's been one of the biggest percent gainers. I made a nice $3,000 on it a few days ago on this big spike with their Tesla rumors. I don't know if the Tesla rumors are true. I don't care. All I care about is the price action. I trade big percent gainers. And today I went for a morning panic dip buy. We got a little bit of a bounce, but not much, so I locked in a few $100s. But I see people trading other stocks, like less volatile stocks, you know, less perfect setups. I can't tell you how many people have asked me about NWBO. I don't know why. I mean, it's okay, it's a recent winner, but it's the third potential green day, and it's up like 5%. Focus on stocks that are up 50% instead of 5%. Especially when there's an informational inefficiency. TCON, which I was dip buying yesterday, first red day. I know a lot of shorts like shorting, you know, overextended stocks on the first red day, but this one was a dip buy for me yesterday, and I was a little too early. The bounce actually worked out better in the afternoon. But, you know, today, spiking huge. People are asking me why it was the first red day. This is part of the reason why I don't short sell anymore. Shorting is a very crowded strategy. In the past, If you short the first red day on a play like TCON that's up so much, right? Like it's up from the ones to the fours, or actually to the fives. First big red day yesterday. That is a clear and definitive short setup, into the close. Whether you short it into the close on the fade here in the mid fours, or you short it on the bounce here in the high fours, or you short it, after hours here in the mid fours. Today, nothing but straight up. Why? Because there are too many short sellers all crowding each other out, creating a squeeze. This is why I do not like shorting, for me personally, or for most newbies right now. Because the first red day pattern that had worked literally almost every single time. I mean, if I looked at the first red day pattern on, multi-day runners, I would say in the past, not like the past 2 or 3 years since I really gave up shorting and I think it became a crowded niche, but in the past like 17 years prior, I would say shorting a first red day and holding overnight for like a morning panic or gap down the next day worked maybe 80, 90, sometimes 95% of the time. I mean, that was one of my most reliable setups. But now it's flipped. There's too many short sellers and it creates massive squeezes like this that you can't get out of very easily, especially if you take any big size. So Tim Grattani, who's still on vacation right now, like he already made $3 million this year. He has a beautiful family. He's chilling with his family. He makes more this year in longs than in shorts. Although his biggest day, June 30th, I remember that day, he made 300 grand. He celebrated by giving a trading challenge webinar at night. And he was shorting CYDY. So that was a classic short setup. So not all shorting is bad, but TCON is a good example where, first red day, very crowded. And it's funny to me because a lot of short sellers like to rip on me because I'm like, I'm like a trader, right? Not even a trader, like a traitor, because I used to be a short seller. Now I rip on short sellers. And they were like, Sykes is dip buying TCON. This is such a first red day. Never buy a first red day. Well, now it's changed a little bit. Now the pattern has flipped a little bit. And this is why I dip buy. This is why I've adapted. Short sellers rarely adapt. I know a lot of big short sellers who, number one, have taken big losses this year. Two, very frustrating strategy, high stress levels. Three, they're trying to lure in more people into their strategy by showing the few big winners that they have, or they show like month-end profits. And they don't show that they're trading with like $5 million accounts and they're making like 30 grand. Like it's short sellers really are the new promoters, although they're also new promoters just due to 2020. So that's the market. I'm never going to BS you. I donate all of my trading profits to charity because I want to be unbiased. I want to give you the most useful commentary. It doesn't matter if I win or if I lose on a trade. Obviously, I want to, win more, but I'm trying to be honest with you. I'm trying to be helpful with you. Dip buys are in. Even though I was a little early on TCON yesterday, again, I kind of have a crazy schedule this week, so I'm not necessarily going to be there. If I wasn't in DPWW, I would have bought this morning spike right here. And I probably would have sold here. I mean, this was a quick trade, but I would have bought this breakout here above 475. The afternoon highs, and it got up to 505, 510. So I would have, I probably would have had 5,000 shares. I probably would have made 1,000. And then it dipped, and then it was actually a second short squeeze. So there were two opportunities to buy here. And just like that with DPWW, I mean, there were two opportunities. You either got the morning spike or on the big dip, and there was a 30% bounce. But you got to be prepared. You got to have the right weaponry on this battlefield. And I did, So congrats to everybody. I saw a few other students nail DPWW because they have stocks to trade breaking news. I saw a few short sellers get crushed on TCON. I'm sorry. I wish the patterns, would remain exactly the same. But as I'm saying pretty often, this isn't an exact science and you have to adapt. So now I'm just watching DPWW, waiting for the press release since we know it's already going to come out, whether it comes out today or tomorrow. Still pretty cool that it's in an SEC filing and 99% of traders don't know it. So leave a comment below if you're going to be prepared, if you're going to be ready for these opportunities. Even if you're not in the best frame of mind, like I'm not, I think I'm actually like waking up just talking about this because I just like having, these informational inefficiencies on DPWW, which is pretty cool. But I'll also include a link to Stocks to Trade Breaking News. Sign up for it, utilize it. The price is actually going up pretty soon, so I would lock that in, and then you get grandfathered in forever. So it's a great deal. It's a great weapon to use. I'll see you guys in chat.